welcome to another MindMat video for stress, basically. Often we hold stress in our shoulders, in our neck, and through our pelvic area and our lower back. So we're going to work on some of those areas today in this video. Also, this is great for workplace stress, and do check out the video that I have created for workplace stress. Chat off the mat, so that's one I've recorded in my counselling practice, and putting the two together could be incredibly helpful for workplace stress. So let's just start with our feet hip width apart on the mat, and just ground yourself and just tap into your breathing to start with. And that sounds a funny thing to say, doesn't it? Tap into your breathing. So be aware of it. We're often not aware of it. What does it feel like when you breathe in and breathe out? I encourage you to breathe through your nose and out your nose. And if you're familiar with Ujjayi breath, that's where you constrict the back of the throat a little. Then you will make the sound of the ocean in your inhales and exhales. But if that's not your thing and you don't know about it, don't worry. Just try and take a few cues when I kind of ask you to inhale or exhale. That'll be fine. So we're going to start with our arms outstretched, fingers pointing. Really think about this fingers pointing out, and we're going to rotate our arms, but as we rotate one arm forward, we're going to rotate the other one the opposite way. So if this one's going forward, this one's going back. So let's do 10 rounds of this. So when you're ready, that's 5. I've lost count now. So let's do one more and relax the arms to your side. Now, taking what will be your left hand, my right arm across my body, I'm going to bring the other arm up and underneath, and I'm going to, with the fold of that elbow, it's going to be behind my other elbow, so it's not on the elbow joint, okay? And when you're ready, just tap into your breath, maybe your ocean breath, and gentle pulses, bringing your forearm a little closer to your chest. So with the arm that's bent, that's allowing the movement. So just tap into the breath. Very gentle pulses, and then just hold. And can you feel the stretch that's coming from the shoulder, coming out along the forearm? And release, and let's go to the other side. So this arm across the chest, this one underneath. Point those fingers. I don't know if you heard that then. This shoulder joint always clicks when I do this. And again, just gently being aware of your breathing and little pulses, bringing this forearm, which is my left one, your right one, a little closer to the body. And hold. And release. Now taking your arms out in front of you, interlacing the fingers, turn around and push away and really stretch out through those fingertips. Take a big, lovely breath in. And release. Now we're coming to the front of our mat. First of all, establishing you have your feet hip width apart. It feels comfortable and it gives you some stability. Feel every tiny little bit of your foot, the big toe, the little toe, your heel, your instep, the outside of your foot. Can you be aware of that foot planting into the ground? And then when we're ready, we're going to bring our arms up above our heads with an inhale. Interlace the fingers here. Have a gentle exhale. And another inhale to stretch up. And on the exhale, flexing to the left. Feel that stretch in your right side body. Inhale to come up. And exhale. exhale to the right and flex to the right. Inhale to come up and relax your arms down by your side. And I've just got to do a little technical adjustment here. I noticed I become unplugged, so bear with me. These are fiddly old things, and you find in your yoga asanas sometimes you are lying on them and it's not conducive to relaxation. Okay, let's come back to Tadasana at the top of our mat again. And this time we're going to take our hands behind our back, so swim those arms around, interlace the fingers. With a big inhale, stretch back and down, bring the shoulder blades together. And on an exhale, bend the knees, folding forwards, bringing those arms up. You can have a generous bend of the knees here. And when you're ready, letting your hands drop to the mat. Fingertips on the mat, and just gentle inhale to straighten the legs and come up a little. Just feel that stretch in the back of the legs and going into towards your glutes. And a little exhale, bend your knees, a little bit of weight in the heels. Inhale, stretching those legs, straightening. Again, exhale, just a little bit of weight in the heels as you bend. And this time a big inhale coming up. Prayer pose above your head. And as you exhale, folding from the hips, chest forward. Coming down to your mat and placing the fingers either side of your feet and stepping back into your downward dog. First one of the day, so pedal this downward dog out. Remember, if it's uncomfortable to be with your fingers spread, you can go onto your wrists, or you can choose to use blocks. So just really kind of walking your dog, as I say, pushing up out of the finger pads, fingers wide, like little spider fingers. And when you're ready, coming to some stillness, coming out of those hands, through your arms, allow yourself to find a peaceful place in your downward dog. The gaze is between your feet. You do not have to drop your heels to the mat, and your hips are the highest point. Now, if you're familiar with this, we're going to step forward with our right leg between our hands. So for those of you that can do that, fine, but I'm just going to demonstrate. If that's a little difficult, come to the knees, come back a little bit here. If you need to get some balance, you can do that. And then bring your leg forward, okay? So that is an option to you. But if you're in your downward dog and you are familiar with bringing your leg forward, you can come like this. Lower the knee, untuck your toe, and then feel this wonderful stretch that's going on here in your thighs. Your fingers are on the mat. You have a pretty flat back. Don't allow the shoulders to round too much, which is something that I struggle with all the time. And when you are ready and you feel balanced, we're going to inhale and come up with the arms above our head. So inhale, stretching up through those fingers, and exhale, coming back to the mat. Now you can use a block here under your hand. Just going to grab one, if this makes it easier for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to open our wings up and come up to the sky. So a block can be handy if that feels a little tight here. Or you could rest your elbow, or your arm, should I say, on your thigh. So whatever works for you, whether it's a block, we're coming from this position, and a lovely inhale, stretching up to the sky, and exhale, coming back down. And here we're going to go to the other side. So again, inhale. And if it's available to you in your practice, you can either come back down with your hand to the mat here, or if it's available to you, you can take hold of your foot. And this allows you to open the shoulders and have a real good stretch. This feels great through the front of that thigh. Be careful the other knee doesn't drop out. Eventually coming back to your mat here, and we're going to lift these toes, so we're tucking them again, then lifting the knee. And if it feels a very long way to step up to the front of the mat, just move yourself slowly, okay? It doesn't matter. Come to the front of the mat, and we're going to go on the other side. So a big inhale coming up, hands above your head, folding forward from the hips, coming down to the mat. And this time we're going to come back into our downward dog with the left foot back first. Feel that dog out. And when you're ready, find your stillness. And we're stepping up with the left foot, so you can go to your knees first if you like. So bringing the left foot up between the hands, lowering the right knee, untucking the toes, and now you can feel that wonderful, wonderful stretch through here, which is really, really delightful. And it's great because we're starting to kind of move in this pelvic area where we hold a lot of our feeling and tension. So let's go to the other side here. So when you're ready, a big inhale. Exhale, come down to the mat. You're going to put your left hand by your left foot and open to the right. Coming back down to the mat. Let's go to the other side. And again, if it's available to you, grab the foot, and this gives you an opportunity for an extra big stretch here. And releasing. Tuck the toes, should I say tuck the toes, and this time, instead of coming to the front of our mat, we are going to lift that leg, but we're going to bring the other one back, and we're going to drop our knees to the floor, because we're going to come into puppy posture. So untuck the toes again here, now you've got stability, and you might want to bring them back just a touch, because I want you to stretch your hands out in front. And when you're ready, lowering your head towards the mat. Keep these lovely big stretch in your arms here. Your hips are uppermost. You should feel the contact on the top of your feet to your mat. And this gives just that little bit of flexion really in your lower back, which can be really helpful. It's the sacral area, also kind of tapping into slightly the solar plexus. And this is the area where we can hold an awful lot of stress and emotions. So find your breath here. 30 seconds is more than enough in this position. Anything feels uncomfortable, come up out of it slowly, slowly. When you're ready, raise your head and neck, and I want you to let your legs straighten out behind you and come onto your forearms. And we're now in Sphinx pose. So just feel what it's like to have the front of your pelvis on the floor. You have a very little back bend, a bend in your lower back here. Now, if any of this is uncomfortable, just come straight out of it. Never stay in any asana that's uncomfortable. We all have different areas that we may be challenged in. But if this feels comfortable to you, I just want you now to take 3 really mindful breaths. And as you breathe in, as you inhale, imagine that breath moving down your body, through your pelvis, down through your thighs towards your toes. And inhale. Inhale, breathe in and down and through. Really feel the breath move through your body. And one more. Now, we're in this position. We're going to slowly come back towards our heels. So be very mindful how you do this. You may want to tuck your toes. It may feel a little better to tuck your toes and then lift your bottom and use your hands to move backwards. Now we're bringing the legs together and we're coming onto the toes into like a thunderbolt pose. And now we get a little toe stretch. So thinking nice and tall in the upper body, allow your seat bones to be on your heels here. And remember what we did when we were at the front of our mat, where we swung our hands behind and we stretch back and down. We're going to do that again. So take a lovely big breath. And feel those shoulder blades coming together. Are they a little looser? And relax. Now dropping your right hand just down to your side. Bring the left hand up with an inhale and stretch over and above your ear and your fingers pointed. So you have a lovely left stretch in the left side body. And let's go to the other side. Inhale. And we've got that lovely stretch. You might want to bring your arm back a little bit if that's possible. And relax. Okay, untuck the toes. Come onto your bottom. You deserve it by now. And just drop your back to the mat. And I want you to bring your knees up and cradle those knees and just have a little roll. Left buttock to right buttock and left buttock to right buttock. And maybe move the knees in some circles. And just think about practicing this short little video because it releases some of the tension in the neck and shoulders. It releases some of the tension and the stress and the feelings that we hold through our pelvis, through our hips. So just helping in two areas there, which is great for relieving stress. Now I want you to finish our practice by taking your feet up to the sky. So you've got some integrity in your toes, so you're not pointing your feet, but you've got your toes pointing a little bit towards you. Take your arms out to the side. Now make sure your back is flat on the mat. If you've got an arch in your back, then I want you to adjust where you're putting your feet, because if your feet are too far up here, you'll be on your spine and you won't be on your pelvis, on your pelvic bone, which you need here to balance you. And now just breathe again. Think about that breath moving all through your body. This is a very relaxing position. And if you find it hard to keep your legs up in the air, do this against the wall. I have a couple of clients that swear that this asana is incredibly helpful at rebalancing them. It's not that often that you have your feet up in the air. They're normally underneath you. So isn't it great to turn all this around? Move everything that's normally going one way the other way. And slowly, slowly, when you're ready, bring your hands towards your solar plexus, which is just above your belly button, and gently drop your toes to the floor. And I'll leave it to you how you wish to get back up onto your mat. I'm going to cross my ankles here and I'm going to take my feet back and then I'm going to come forward. I quite like to do that. It feels nice for me. So thank you for joining me on the mat for a MindMat yoga video to help relieve stress. Extremely helpful for stress in the workplace. I encourage you to practice this whenever you get a chance, and yeah, I hope to see you again.